We're going to move on to topic number 5, and we're going to head to the NFL, and particularly right here in New England. Minicamps started this week. I'm not sure. I think today was actually the last practice of the week for Minicamp. First off, on topic number 5, the man who was missing for the Patriots this week in Minicamp was Stephone Gilmore. Stephone stayed home, and apparently it's because of a contract dispute. He's coming into the last season of his contract. He's going to make, I think it's a $16 million cap hit this year. But he wants an extension. He wants a new deal where he can stay in New England. So, Brandon, what do you think? Would you give Gilmore an extension? What do you think about him sitting out of minicamp?
Well, first off, big shout out to, like I said, our Japanese fans. And I only keep going back to that because we gained at least 10 new subscribers from Japan, and we love you guys for checking in with us. But if you're also new to us, man, subscribe, give us a like here. We're going to talk about a ton of sports. Call in and give us a sport you want to talk about or a topic, man. I want to hear something from you guys. But I think this is big, to be honest. And the cap numbers are a little different, actually. So last year they gave him a pay raise. They gave him a bump. He was making $13 million last year. The cap drops down this year, and he's only making $7 million this year. We say only, right? We say only. Because the guy really wants to be making $13 million again. And I get it by maybe the league rate and the league going rate, considering where he is as far as how good he is for his position. He probably does deserve to be making that much money. I'm just not so sure the Patriots can make it happen here. And here's why. I think this is one of those things where he's been in trade talks now for at least one whole season, right? Where it's been like, hey, if we can't get him under a contract or we can't agree to a contract with him long term, it's time to move on from him. So he's kind of been in that like area for a while here. And now he's still in that area. And we're going into a new season. And now he doesn't want to show up to mandatory minicamp, which I think is really kind of routine when you're looking for a new contract. But it's just really one of those things where it's just like, I don't know. I don't really know what to do, to be honest. We just got J.C. Jackson for another year at kind of, honestly, a bargain price for a cornerback, and especially of his caliber. He led the league in interceptions one of the last few years, has been up there both years, the last 2 years, as far as leading interceptions. So it's like, I mean, do you bring back both of them and have a shutdown corner on both sides in a pass-heavy NFL league? I think, hey, I can't go wrong with that. I think that if you can get the price right and you sign him to maybe a 2 or 3 year deal and the price is right, I'd be all for that. But if he's maybe looking for a 4-year deal or a 5-year deal with max money, I just don't think we can do that at this moment because we really don't know what's going on with this team beyond this season. And I say that, we've kind of loaded up this season to have a good year. But beyond this, I think there's still some more moves that need to be made on the roster to make us a title contender. Obviously, people want to talk about Cam, and we will in the next subject. But I just think that it's one of those things where they have to decide, is he going to be worth that money bump this year to give him another bump? Because that's what he wants right now. He doesn't want to play for $7 million. He wants more money. So I think it's going to come down to what you're going to get him to agree to at this point. But, man, I'm still a big guy. Like, obviously, Julio's off the block, which that sucks. I want to cry about that right now. But I would Odell Beckham's still out there, man. Odell Beckham's still out there. I'd be a big fan of trading this guy for Odell Beckham. I know I'm going to get flack for that. But, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, if we can't agree to a good number, I say trade him.
Yeah, that's not a bad point. I mean, I think what's going to happen is, first of all, I don't really care if Gilmore's at minicamp or not. He doesn't really need to be there right now. He had an injury late last year, so he wants to take his time coming back. He's going to be in shape, the kind of player that he is. He's one of the best corners in the league. If he wants to, start training camp a little late, I mean, I think he did this last year too, or maybe 2 years ago, where he wanted
more money.
He wanted more money, and it just didn't happen for him. But I don't think the Patriots are going to, just because they didn't show up to minicamp, they're not going to give him a contract. If they haven't done it already, they're not going to do it now. So what might happen is he'll come back during training camp, or if he continues to hold out towards the end of training camp, then maybe they'll trade him. We'll see. They also might, the Patriots might stick to their guns and say, all right, if you want to sit out, all right, we're going to start the season. And then if the Patriots with this revamped defense that has a pass rush, that has a revamped defensive line, a front seven, high towers back, you've got McCourty back, you've got some new defensive backs in the backfield. Their defense might be good without him to start the season. And then he might look at this and say, wow, they're good even without me. I better come back and at least earn my contract at the end of this year when I will be a free agent. So he's not going to be sitting out the year. He wants to earn another contract. So it's going to be sort of a game of chicken between the Patriots and Gilmore. I think eventually Gilmore's just going to report. Now, if he comes to training camp at the very beginning, things are good. Maybe the Patriots give him an extension. Who knows? Maybe 2 years on top of this year. You know, they move some money around. They move a signing bonus around. And make it cap friendly for them and the salary bump for Gilmore. They could do that too. He's only 30. You know, for corners, that's not young, but there's usually corners they can play into their, you know, early to mid 30s pretty well. You know, look like Champ Bailey, Revis, some guys like that. So I know those are some of the greatest corners of all time, but Gilmore is one of the best corners in the league. So that's what you would expect out of him. He's also physical, so he doesn't have to be lightning quick to still be a very good corner. So it's going to be a game of chicken between Gilmore and the Patriots, and this is going to take some time. This isn't going to get fixed anytime soon.
No, I think you're right, and I could see Stephone Gilmore playing until he's at least 35. So I think you've hit that number right on the head as well. But you bring up an interesting fact that I really didn't think, because I'm like, hey, it's kind of like get on or get off type of deal. You know, jump on the team like wagon now, or we're just sending you out now. But you bring up a good point of they might just wait it out, and they just might wait it out and start the season and say, man, you're going to play for $7 million or you're not going to play at all. And he wouldn't be the only guy that's kind of talking about that right now. Obviously, the bigger names that are on the board that might sit out this season are Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, and a couple of other guys that are just saying right now, we haven't been able to either come to a good agreement, you haven't been able to trade me, and I don't want to play for you for that amount of money. So it's just really one of those things where he would be another big name that you could add to that list. But yeah, I think you bring up a good point where that is a good option where this defense could still come out and prove to be good without him. And then he says, I'm kind of losing my leverage now, and I need to come back and actually, you know, earn my leverage back for my free agent contract. So I think you're right there. And it's just really one of those things we're going to find out over these next couple of weeks where it's really going to stand, I think, whether or not they're going to be able to come to an agreement, or whether or not they're going to wait, or whether or not they're going to move them. And I think it will all be decided, I would say, over the next 4 to 6 weeks. And we'll definitely be covering it because that's our home team.